Good afternoon. This is a meeting of the Harris County Commission, September 21st, 2023. Please all rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to roll call. Averill.
Here. Chelsea gave it to me.
Tranby.
Here.
Zorn. He'll be
Late.
attending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Late.
Edlin.
She's absent for
Okay.
now. She's gone.
And Wakefield is here. We do have a quorum. If you'll have a look through the agenda, and when able, we will need a motion to approve.
Hi. There's probably one thing that should be added to the agenda that Sam just got information about this morning about that CPT.
Do you want to just pause that until I get more information?
I think we should just bring it up to him.
Okay.
What?
CPT?
So if we could add
Instead of Tyler.
county software to the agenda.
So there's another one out there, is what you're saying? Okay.
Do we have any information on
Just a little bit.
it? We haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
I think you guys just need to be made aware of it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll make a motion to add that.
CPT, it's a software.
Yeah.
Just say county software.
Counter software. And then one other thing too, we have two township officers here. I'm guessing you want to talk about that Finley Farmer thing, if they're township.
Yeah.
Can we add them to speak? Ron and Greg, please, to the agenda. So, make a motion.
Can they just speak underneath that crown
That's
appraisals
fine,
or
that's
whatever
what I'm
Finley
saying.
Farmers
That's what I'm saying,
elevator
so.
thing?
Okay.
This is about the appraisal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That's fine. So we have a motion to add the CPT?
Yep.
CPT software to the agenda, and also in addition to the Finley Farmers appraisal. I'll need a second to that.
I'll second it.
Second by Averill. Any further discussion? Barring no further discussion, we'll move on to the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Who?
A-roll.
I got it.
Yeah.
Who made the motion?
I
Okay,
did.
got it. Thank you.
Just
Agenda
to clarify,
approved.
it's already-
If you'll have a look at the September 7th meeting minutes.
Last night, when I sent it out, I did not have I had question marks for the project discussion on the County Road 19 chip seal project. I wasn't sure what project that was, and I got a hold of Wayne this morning, so I did get that updated for you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented
And waive the reading.
and waive the reading.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the September 7th meeting minutes as presented and to waive the reading. Do we have a second to that?
I'll second it.
Second by Averill. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. We've got the bills. We want to have a look at them. Sam, anything that stands out there?
Nope. The Bank of North Dakota one is for the new courthouse, the interest payment. And then that Office of the State Auditor's Office for $750, that will be discussed later on during that thing or whatever, but you are approving this bill. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So the the $750, because it is in this bills to be paid, is the fee that the legislature allowed the state auditor to charge for reviewing our audit. And so that's what that is.
I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware that it was in here before we talk about it.
Okay.
When you're comfortable with the bills, we'll need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the bill.
We have a motion from Averill to approve the bills as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tranby. Any further discussion on the bills? Barring no further discussion, we'll move on to a voice vote. Aye for in the affirmative, nay for the negative. Averill.
Aye.
Tranby.
Aye.
Wakefield votes aye. Bills approved. Are you guys in a rush? Do you want to move up and get yours out of the way? And
Whatever.
I mean,
Raining, hey,
all right. You vote to stay warm and dry then.
Yeah.
All right. We have the sales ratio study.
Alan is on Zoom if you have questions.
Yeah, I didn't see any questions. I mean, it was a technicality. It needed to be done. Alan, you're on Zoom.
Yes, I am, sir.
So you will turn this into the state then through the correct channels if we approve it here?
That is correct. I will submit this information as presented to you to the State Board of Equalization through the North Dakota Taxpayer Assistance Program. That will then be into them, and it'll go to the State Board of Equalization on October 5th. I will be in attendance at that meeting if they have any questions related to this situation.
Okay, and you'll shepherd it through that process because we already had a sales ratio study that was turned in, but this is, of course, replacing that. Not in addition to it, it's replacing it, correct?
That is correct. I instructed the staff that we would like that old ratio reversed, so we had a chance to review it all, and then resubmitted the proper sales that we felt were indicative of the market for Griggs County, along with the values that are required on the supplementary abstract and the regular abstract. I also am turning in exempt abstract for the game and fish and the school trust lands for your county at the same time.
Yeah, and I see you knocked the categories down from 4 to 3 also. Residential, commercial, and ag, where there was a lakeshore property prior.
That the lakeshore property is a class of property, but it falls underneath of vacant land under commercial, so we don't have that category in there as one of the types of property on your abstract, but that is still a type of property on your sales ratio. I only had 2 sales of lakeshore property, one that we accepted, one that we rejected for that study.
Yeah, that wasn't we'd never used it before, and that's correct. So that's back the way it's supposed to be. Any other information for us?
Just so you guys are aware that I don't have any control over what the State Board of Equalization does, but we will, like I said, be there in attendance if they have any questions. I do have a good working relationship with the staff at the state tax commissioner's office, and I will be in constant communications. If I have anything that arises or you have any questions of me, just feel free to have Sam get a hold of me. We will do our best to steward this through the whole process so you guys get your sales ratio study and all of your values in place for 2023.
You'll keep Sam informed of the progress then?
100% will do.
Very good. Any questions of?
No? Looks good.
Okay, I thank you. I assume you've been paid or gonna be paid? Or did it for
Yeah, I have
goodwill?
sent I have sent the final bill to Samantha, and she will have that for your guys' approval at a future meeting.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
So we'll need a motion to approve the new sales ratio study as presented and allow Alan to present it to the state.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Tranby to approve the sales ratio study. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Second by Zorn. Given the fact that these were voice votes before, I think we'll have a voice vote on this. Avriel?
Aye.
Tranby?
Aye.
Zorn?
Aye.
Wakefield votes aye. Sheriff Hook?
Okay.
I see you got, the first thing, you got the, done with the PERS, so that's out of the way.
Yeah, that was a year ago.
Yeah, well, that's the first one seen it, you know. So anyway, that's done.
Yeah.
What else you got for us?
So the radios.
Radios.
Jamie can chime in or two. We both got radio stuff. So just explain, I had 5 mobile radios on my sale proposal. Cut that down to 4 because one of the radios is gonna go in our room next door here.
Okay.
And we're gonna work that through DES. They still get the rebate, but then they can get part of that payback through EMPG. So then he can talk about that further. So, the final on mine, for the portable radios, the Forum is $15,805 after that $6,000 rebate. The total cost on them was $21,805. And the mobile radios for the cars, I cut that from 5 to 4. Their initial cost is $18,948, $6,000 rebate. Drop that down to $12,948. So those are the 2 radio costs that I would have.
And then there was a grant to cover this?
That's a grant of $6,000 off each one. It's like a rebate grant. We pay for them, we can get the money immediately. Like the day we write the check, we can.
So we could just basically gotta show that we paid for them
Yeah,
first. before
and
we get
the
it.
vendors do that paper right on site. So
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
So do we need a bill from, or anything like that? We haven't paid for the radio.
Once it's
bill.
presented.
So once it's presented, then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he called me yesterday, they want to order today or tomorrow, because they've got a bulk order, it's better for them to order, so that's where we're at. And once he orders, he wants to be paid, I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, just have to handle that one.
Well, I mean, we don't have an invoice yet. We've
Right.
got the dollar amount. We can approve the dollar amount
Okay.
and give them permission to order it.
And then he'll send me an invoice, and I'll have here, say I'll get
She
it
won't
sent.
pay it yet. I mean,
Right,
it'll have to be the
exactly.
next
And he knows
meeting.
that.
It'll have
He's
to be the
worked on it
next
for years.
meeting, 2 weeks away. So we'll need a motion and allow Bob to instruct the vendor to order the radios, given the dollar figures that were presented.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Canby, second.
I'll second it.
Second by Avriel. We're dealing with money, I suppose. We better have a voice vote on this. Avriel.
Aye.
Tranby.
Aye.
Zorn.
Aye.
Wakefield votes aye.
I've got the same thing on the back side of Bob. We have 2 radios that we need for the EOC. One of them's a portable, and one of them's a base. Through Jamestown Communications, they're both Kenwood radios. The bid for those is $6,700 with an antenna, and they advise to get the antenna. The total cost for that $67.25. We're going to get that $3,000 siren grant, so to reimburse it. Plus, I was made aware that there's some money through EMPG. I don't know what that amount is going to be, but we should be able to get some of that additional money reimbursed. So it should be under $3,700 for a cost to the county
Per radio or
for the whole works for both radios.
That's pretty good.
same thing, we need a tentative approval here.
Yeah, we'll get them ordered and we'll get invoiced when we get it.
So in actuality, that radio's gonna cost you about $1,500.
Yeah, it's probably, the cost is gonna be way down there with the EMPG grant.
I got a question for you guys. These are all, these radios all talk to each, I mean, they're all on the same
Yeah.
channels? Is
Yeah,
that what
it's-
the-
It's all the
new-
new ones for
Yeah.
the siren for this.
It's
interactive,
rather
yeah.
than analog technology, it's digital, so
digital.
it splits each band into many different
And it's
segments.
a whole different technology, it's much better. I guess one thing I forgot to mention on
Yeah.
our side of this, we will be able to unplug the county sheriff repeater and no longer pay for that license.
We've been using them for 12 years in the fire business, and they're not better.
What's that?
We've been using them for 12 years in the fire business, and they're
Well,
not
on our
better.
side, they'll be better, 'cause
They
it
bleed
gives us
over.
more options.
Yeah, they bleed over onto the channels.
Budget for
So yeah, so the
2024.
$1,500 that Bob talked about,
Yeah.
the $1,500 that I talked about, it was money that was okayed in the 2021 legislative session, for everybody to, they're, really the analog radios are gonna be not working after, I think, 2024. So everybody's going to these radios, it's a huge expense for everybody, but it was like a $10 million situation for the state, for that $1,500 grant. So, yeah, there's $1,500 grant available for each radio, and everybody in the state is switching over to them.
Is that all gonna be covered under the, ARPA funds?
We'll find out here. So Sam's informed me that in the DES budget, there's $8,600 for radios. Can that be shared between, are you gonna have any more radios
I
in
don't
the
see,
DES?
I don't think so.
So can we apply the balance after the DES radios are taken out against this $8,600 for the sheriff's radios?
I don't see why not.
They'd have to be paid through DES. You know, they would have to be listed as their radio, but then would come to me for my vehicles or whichever. So yeah, that's potentially there.
Okay, well, we'll look at that.
It'd be one more slice of the pie back.
Yeah, we'll look at that when we get the invoices. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
So I guess talking about that, then if we're gonna invoice, then Jamie, I'll just talk to John about that and work that out. Do you wanna capture that whole amount?
Well, we might as well. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, so this is in the DES budget,
Yep.
so anything surplus to this, I mean, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
It should be able to go to the sheriff's department.
It's all county money, and it's
And that's all within the
Exactly.
general fund
Yeah.
And
too.
it's all within the general.
But I'm just saying, if we wanna get reimbursed through EMPG, then it should be labeled as a DES expense, which,
Well, you will have to handle this so the reimbursement is maximized.
right, exactly. Okay, the next topic.
Yep.
Was the contracting.
Yes.
Draft contract's been reviewed by Jamie for the city. They'll sign that at their next meeting, first part of October. I got contracts and memorandums of understanding and such from Cass County. Reviewed several of them over the last 3 days. Theirs is very straightforward. I talked to the field services commander now that runs their school resource program. He's offered full assistance on site with us to help set that program up if we get to that point. So that Jamie will probably have that contract in his hand tomorrow to review
Okay,
for that.
not much we can do until we have that, so.
Right, exactly.
It's just the process is ongoing, okay? Anything else?
That should be it for me.
How was your vacation?
It wasn't very good vacation.
Okay.
It was too hot. 105 degrees every day. I'm not built for that.
You said you're at the border, weren't you?
11 miles.
I'll move.
So what temperature do vacations have to be?
About 105, 90% humidity.
I think about 72 degrees. About.
Yeah, yeah. So that's all I got.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob? Wayne,
Hey,
you're doing double duty, road superintendent and 9/11 coordinator.
joint powers agreement. I attended a meeting in Grand Forks, 911 Association, and joint powers agreement was discussed for collection and distribution of 911 fees. There is like 20 counties that have already signed up for it. I guess I would recommend we go ahead and sign the joint powers agreement. If there isn't almost 100%, then they're not gonna go ahead and do it anyway.
This is what Jamie discussed
That's what
last
JB
meeting.
talked about last time.
So it is gonna cost the county a little bit of an administrative fee.
Not yet, no. So, as of right now, no. They're not gonna charge anything, it's a free service from the Association of Counties. Currently, the telcos charge 5% as an administrative fee. the thought of doing this is to ease the burden of accounting on the telcos, so that at some point, maybe those, and this is probably a pipe dream, that at some point they'll drop that 5%, right? So as of right now, it's a service from the North Dakota Association of Counties. They're not gonna charge an administrative fee to do it. But the thought is if, and like I said, it might be a pipe dream, but to capture that part of that 5% at some point.
So this isn't necessarily to benefit the counties, this is to benefit the telecommunications industry,
Well, it
private sector.
no, it's supposed to benefit the counties in that, so they've kind of done an audit of what the counties have gotten, and the counties aren't probably getting what they should be getting either.
Because of clerical errors.
And not being able to track people and that sort of thing. So it's supposed to capture all the funds that the counties are due to them. And who knows, it might be shuffling money between counties, but it is supposed to be as a second audit to really check to make sure that that money is going where it should be going.
And you have faith that another level of government bureaucracy can fix the first level of government bureaucracy?
Well, I do actually.
Okay.
And the only reason, I mean, and I think Sam can actually speak, it helps out your office too.
Not mine, the treasurer's
The
office.
treasurer's
Yep.
office.
Yep.
So it simplifies things for the treasurer's office because they receive all sorts of deposits from those
Yep.
telcos that are in small amounts that are tough to track.
So are we in favor of that? If so, we'll need a motion to allow Wayne to join the
I'll make that
co-op.
motion.
Motion by Tranby to allow Wayne to join the, what do we call it?
I just signed the joint powers agreement.
Joint powers agreement.
Yeah.
Second, do we need a second on that?
I'll second it.
Second by Averill. Any further discussion? Barring no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign.
By the way,
Sign away, Wayne.
county commission will have to sign it.
I'll have a copy
County
for you
commission
on there.
chairman and the county auditor signs the
It's lucky I voted aye.
joint powers.
Yeah.
I think Semester played that one, but
What else you got for us, Wayne?
I have got, well, that chip seal I think was on the agenda. Talked about last time. We went down, I had Paul Bjornson drive with me and we drove down the airport road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's cracks, but there's cracks on all of them. And I think we could get by for another year with, without doing it in 24, but doing it in 25. Just seal the cracks next year and then chip seal it the next. Then we have more money built up in our fund.
Thank you.
Federal fund, so I guess that's my recommendation, just to hold off, and then we'll, when we meet with the DOT on October, whatever that is, 10th,
They're gonna get done.
then we'll just extend it a year,
Okay.
and we'll bring it back, and then it'll be signed by the chairman. I guess,
Do you want this contract or do you want me to send it in? I can send it in. It's fine.
County Road 8,
Mm-hmm.
was requested to call Nate Munson, which I did. Road superintendent for Foster County, I said, do you have any plans of raising the grade on your side
So,
of the
so
county
just for
line?
clarification,
Yeah.
County Road 8 is the road going west of Binsford to
Binsford.
McHenry? Yep. Okay,
So this
that's the
is-
one that has,
That's the two sites that we raised before 2020. He said at this time, there's no plans to do anything because their side of the road, the water is down like 3 feet
mm-hmm,
in that spot, he said, so. But he has given Gilbertson Construction the ability to go ahead if it starts going underwater. They're supposed to start hauling clay out there to raise the road up and then gravel it.
Oh, so it would not, yeah, so they'd be in the same position we are.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
for that, now at this time,
yep,
or in the spring or whenever there's water, if we get 10 inches of water or something. So, that's as far as I know about that.
okay. So that was the first step in this process of trying to determine if we wanted to move ahead and see what it would cost to not only pave those two spots that we had to raise, but we'll have to raise them again and make some contouring to the road surface. The holdback before from the prior commission was the water was coming up. It was real close to going over the road in Foster County, and there was no plans to do anything other than gravel it there. So if we spend $1.5 million paving the portion in Griggs County, and you drive another mile or half a mile and you're in the same situation that we just got out of. So because of that, it didn't seem like it was worth doing. And it seems now the situation as far as commitment from Foster County hasn't changed, but of course they don't have any gravel there. And over the last 2 years, the level of the water has continuously dropped. It's still not gonna be a cheap process, because as the road comes up, Wayne, we get narrower, and in order to fill in the sides, then you have wildlife easements and all kinds of things that have to be dealt with in order to dump the water into the slough. The way we got by with it this way, we didn't touch the base of it, we just crowned it up over the top. So if it's the will of the board here, we don't have to commit to anything, but we can move forward to trying to see what could be done and what it's gonna cost.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to look in that. What, you remember what the project was last time, how much money it was gonna cost, Wayne?
It was 1.2,
Something like that?
1.3, but you can bet it's doubled.
Double now. Yeah.
Well, if you did, this was the estimate from the engineer, it was a rough estimate. And they were way high, on the local contractor's price, so. For doing the total emergency and permanent work, they had $3,222,000.
Yeah, I think our share of it wasn't our share 1 point something?
80% would be paid for. Well, the
And that
emergency grade
was
raise
our
would've
side
been-
and their side for the
No,
three-
that's just ours.
for the 3-some million.
There's two sides. There's two
So
sides.
we got it, we just fixed it temporarily and then waited it out, and so, anyway, that's where it sits, so you can bet that price is gonna be double.
Do we need to do anything with, like you said, when we fix it now, we just crown the top of the road, do we need to do anything with that to?
It's continuously bladed, it gets a lot of traffic, so it gets washboardy, and some people are taken by surprise, some people just drive it too fast. There's signs up, again,
The
right.
top of the road can't go any wider
right,
because the
The slope.
The slope of the
straight
easement.
down just about, it's like 2-to-1 slope on the riprap. So it'd have to be, remove the riprap or cover it up.
right. I mean, the only thing to do, we don't have to commit to anything, we need to see what it would possibly cost to do it. And see if there's any other projects that would take priority in front of that one. That was part of the problem. Also, it would have spent most of the money we had. We were still looking at a bridge project up north here that something had to be done. It doesn't hurt to look at it.
Do you think we should have another engineer firm look at it again, or what are you thinking on that?
Well, they'll look at it. They're always trying to line their coffers, and so if they get a project, they're the engineer on it. So they're out there. They'll look at it and do the pre-work on it, and that doesn't normally cost any money.
I think it cost just about $2,000 to do
Yeah.
this.
I shouldn't say any money. It isn't nearly what it costs once they actually break ground.
Break ground, yeah.
Is there any kind of a temporary fix, if you wanna call it that, or would we blacktop over those spots and?
I think that's all, so Wayne will correct me if I'm wrong, but if we're gonna do it and use federal funds, then we don't have any choice of what standards we do it to. And that's why we did it this way before. We did it totally with our own money, our money, the county money. And it worked out well, it's just gravel.
Yep.
I mean, technically, I suppose if there was a asphalt plant close, we could do the same thing with the asphalt, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, but that's all, and we'd have to see what money would be available. Maybe there's money available somewhere to do that also, in a grant. But if you're going to do it and take the federal money, you can just about guarantee the project is gonna cost 300, 400, 500% more than if you did it privately. That's just the way it is. I mean, the engineering cost will be more than what it could be done for it in the private sector.
We go down that road a lot, and the spot maintenance is about the best you can do right now. It's just what it is. And their signs, or delineator signs, they've done everything they can do to make it safe. It's, drivers gotta have some responsibility.
How
Yeah.
many actions we've had in that lately?
Oh, lately, not a
Any?
whole lot, and probably in the past year, Danny, we could have fatalities there and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And there was before it was
Yeah, it's
gravel
always been
too.
that way.
I mean, it's just a dangerous place. Going down a hill,
Yeah.
a curve and then back this way
You got the
and
negative curves going downhill.
Curve it.
and deer all over
You got the
and,
Griggs County Ocean there, and,
yeah. That thing used to be dry.
yeah.
There's 35-mile-per-hour signs there for the next mile. There's signs that says intermittent gravel for the next mile.
Mm-hmm.
And there's delineator signs like Bob said. But people don't go by them.
I mean,
They just
if it's
drive.
gonna be $7 million, we could hire a pace car full-time to sit out there and usher people through there.
Yeah, I could do
Yeah. So, I don't think we need a motion, we just need to
Keep looking at
to
it.
let Wayne move ahead
Yeah.
with, see where we're at with
Wait, when
it.
you guys grade that, do you go all the way across Foster's, or just stop? How do you
We
do
just-
that?
We go all the way past Lyle, to Lyle Black's driveway.
Mhm.
Is there gravel farther west?
No,
No.
With what?
There isn't any gravel farther west.
no, stops at Lyle's.
We have those two spots, right by Lyle Black's and then east of there.
And there is pavement there, it's underneath all that gravel.
Pavement.
Not
Yeah.
high-speed corner, I'm sure.
No.
Oh.
Anything else, Wayne?
I don't think so.
Anything for Wayne, guys?
The only thing I gotta ask,
Oh, yeah.
just curiosity, so I know, who's responsible for township road signs?
Township.
They are, do they
Yep.
contact you, or what do they do?
They can.
Okay. Cause I was asked about, township road sign, a dead end sign, that's got knocked down a couple of years ago, and getting it back up. So they asked me about it, I wasn't sure, so I figured I'd talk to you about it.
If they call us and ask us to put it back up, we'll put it back up. There's
Okay.
no sign there, then we'll have to get one, charge it to the township.
Okay.
Josh, we've been hit up with that question many times. Told to go back to your township supervisor.
And that's what I told
They
him.
just never do.
Yeah, and that's what I told the person that asked me. I said, it's a township road,
Yeah.
talk to your township
Yeah.
supervisor.
Yeah.
But it was a sign, so I wasn't 100% sure. I figured I'd ask.
Well, that's, a lot of times what I do with our township, we just order from them signs and
Okay.
done with it, and then we put them up, or these guys put them up, They have that special driver to put the bottom piece in.
Mhm.
If you try to pound them in the bottom piece with a sled, you bent the crap out of it. They got, is it pneumatic? Yeah, it's electric, yeah. So it puts the bottom piece in, doesn't smash the front, and then you put the sign in. Works really slick.
So the townships wanna be really careful about that, because once they're
Mhm.
put on notice, if something happens, there's plenty of Supreme Court cases
Well, and that's why I
out
brought
there
it up.
for
'Cause
liability
it's,
issues, so if they know that they're missing a sign or some sort of road marking,
Yep.
it's a bad deal if something happens.
and that's why I brought it up. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
They said it was knocked down a couple years ago. It's a dead end sign that's supposed to be there. So somebody, especially during the winter, when roads are icy, they can't stop,
Yeah.
go right over the road. So.
Okay, moving on. Crown Appraisals, Inc.
Chelsea is on Zoom. Chelsea, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello,
Can
Chelsea.
you hear me?
Yes.
Maybe you can fill us in on what the correct procedure for this is. Who's responsible for the appraisal, the township, the county, or both?
So I guess typically in our experience, it has been the county, whether it be your tax director or assessor, is usually in charge of setting that base assessment and going from there in the future.
We don't have a tax director, but when we didn't have a tax director that was certified to the dollar figure in order to do the appraisal. That's so we have to hire outside someone with a higher appraisal level, I guess is what it means. So that's why we're reaching out to the private sector.
Okay, sure. So as far as other assessments in the past with like agribusinesses in your county, how have you handled those?
We've only had one that I can remember that was over and above what the qualifications of the local assessors were. And I believe the county paid for that, didn't they?
I'm not sure on that one.
It's before my tenure. I don't know that for sure. Is there, Jamie, is there, what is the standard?
Typically, I guess the information I got from the tax director up in Nelson County, typically the township pays for it.
Okay, so the problem is, of course, what was the fee to do this? Is it so many dollars per thousand, or is there a set fee for appraisal?
So Scott and I just kind of talked on generalities. To give you a more accurate fee, I'd like to pick you guys' brains a little bit on exactly what you would like to see from us as far as the valuation. You know, more or less how much time we'll have into it is kind of what it boils down to. So if you want to dive into that,
let's stop right there. we can't tell you what the valuation is going to be. We have to leave that up to you. That has to be a non-bias. It has to be a non-biased number. So we're out of the process, hence the need for someone to independently appraise this. So that is how, I mean, that wouldn't be fair to either side if we had the decision to do that. So
yeah, so
the
our fee is
problem with
not contingent on a value or anything like that. It more so comes down to how much time we have in it between looking at the facility, kind of putting together market data to compile our valuation. So that's kind of how we figure our fee.
But I mean, there must be a standard. We just need a basic evaluation so it can go on to the tax rolls. I mean, there can't be any deluxe evaluation, and there just must be a standard process you go through to determine the value.
Yeah, so typically if we're doing an appraisal for like financing or something like that, there's more regulations we have to follow, and it kind of comes down to just a lot more narrative and a lot more describing in the report. But I think something like this, like we've done similar things for like Trail and Steele counties, and something like this, we've done more of just kind of, we still do our full appraisal analysis, but we call it a restricted report. And more or less, we're just making charts, putting the numbers in there and giving you a value without a whole bunch of narrative and a bunch of fluff in there. So if that's something that will work for you guys and get the job done, that would save you some money, and so that would be, help towards factoring our fee.
Yeah, I mean, we need the bare minimum in order to be able to put it on the tax rolls, and fair to both sides of this. So the problem, guys, is that more than likely the amount to appraise it is going to be far in excess of what Cooperstown Township will receive in taxes for appraising it. I assume that's why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do have Central Plains, the county paid for that one.
Yep. Okay, that was the question I was going to ask. I forgot that you were here.
Yeah, Central Plains paid for that one. The farmer's elevator, the bin site, David was your tax director.
Mm-hmm.
And he appraised the value, and then he contacted someone like this that to give him a rough estimate.
Yeah,
And that's how we went, and then Todd, we met with Todd,
Yeah.
and we agreed to a price on bin site.
yeah, yeah, see, David didn't have the ability to appraise, that's why we're
Yeah,
in here,
but I
so,
mean, he contacted one, or just got a rough idea, so then we agreed,
yeah.
that's how that one got appraised.
Yeah, so this one will probably have to go through an independent entity and then come to the commission to approve it. But of course, they won't disapprove it, it'll just be whatever the numbers are, the numbers are.
As our local assessor, she's not qualified, but she could see, like your fertilizer plant is a cookie cutter, plant. They build the same plants all over.
Mm-hmm.
So she could contact other places and find out what kind of value they put on them.
The problem is, the appraisers are certified to a certain value, over
Yeah.
$500,000, and it just, you know, if it's gonna end up the same way, and then everything is on the up and up. But I understand the township, and I'm sure these guys do too, that if you spend the money to appraise it, you're never gonna get a return on that. So
No.
the biggest return comes to Griggs County.
The county and the school, that's the biggest ones.
Yeah, so if there's a precedent set, if the county paid for Central Plains, I would assume the county should pay for this. That's just my opinion. I mean, you can't make things different for one than the other. Any thoughts on that, guys?
So like on the fertilizer plant, if the assessor we have only to 500,000, I might guess that was more than 500 for the plant out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple $1 million at least.
Right, so so then we get somebody that, you find someone that's.
That's what she is.
Okay.
Chelsea, her company will come in and they'll do an appraisal, and it's not only the value of the plant, it's the value of the services. And yeah. I assume that's correct, isn't it, Chelsea?
So typically for ad valorem real estate taxes, we normally would do an income approach, but typically for real estate tax assessments, we don't do an income approach because A, the property owner probably isn't gonna cough up financials, and B, it's just typically, I mean, a business value isn't accessible for real estate tax purposes, so.
Yeah, correct. Well, it is, but it is, a lot of time it isn't done. So banks, for instance, are assessed on their financial value and the buildings. But I wouldn't think that we want to assess this on the financial value. I would think we just want to assess it on the structure itself and the land. That's the fairest way to do it. That'll be the cheapest way to do it for the taxpayer and for us as citizens paying for the appraisal. Correct?
You know, and something I'll throw out too that we've done in the past with other counties, we've done situations like this where we've came in and we've kind of set a value in the first year like this, and we've actually kind of shared our charts and our calculations of how we came up with it, and then kind of market abstracted depreciation rates and units of comparison and things like that, and shared that with the assessor. So then years forward, because they weren't competent the first year to do it, but then years forward, since we kind of helped them out, then they were able to take our information and, you know, kind of keep stepping up that assessment in years to come. So then you don't have to hire someone like us every, you know, however many years you need to reassess this thing. I don't know in your situation, based on the qualifications of your assessor, if that's something that can be done in the future, or if that would work for you guys, but I just wanted to throw out the idea because yeah, we have done it with other counties like that in the past.
So, yeah, we don't individually assess a business or a property and single it out. Once it's assessed, then it would just receive the same increase or decrease as all the rest of the commercial properties in the county.
Okay, sure.
So
Okay.
once
No.
that's the fairest way to do it. If we're going to raise commercial properties by 5%, then everybody gets a raise in 5%. We don't. By the time you go through and assess all the different properties, you spend more in assessment fees than it actually brought in as a tax base.
Sure, makes sense.
And it kind of aggravates the businesses if you keep assessing them and raising their valuations, and so I don't think that would be wise. I think if you get on the tax rolls and let it go to work. Guys?
And so, as far as the valuation would go, how much information would be available to us? Like, do you guys have like the construction permits? Do we know what this thing costs to build new? Like those sort of things, or?
We know that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the commission goes, we don't know, we don't know anything, and we don't really have the reason to know anything. That's why we leave it to a private entity. So you would have to, I assume Finley Farmers would get with you and provide you with the information you need and the back and forth. Is that workable
Yeah, I mean,
to both sides?
the whole thing's been a mess.
Yeah, well, I mean, the commission doesn't want to be involved in this. It's just whatever the appraisal is and then put it on the tax rolls.
We're researching how to go about it, but we will provide what you need.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll get contact. So first of all, is there a ballpark figure on what this is gonna cost? Like say this is a $4 million building, 2, 4?
Oh, it's more than that.
Say it's a $5 million building. What's the ballpark figure on what it's gonna cost?
So yeah, I mean, if we can, it sounds like we can do a pretty stripped down report. You guys are just after the numbers. We won't have to spend a lot of time with narrative and that sort of thing. So ballpark figure, I would guess probably 6,000 to 8,000, something like that.
That's what you talked to me about, same thing before with that.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
Okay. So is it reasonable to have Cooperstown Township share in any of this? Is there going to be a benefit to it, or what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, what is the percentage that they receive out of this?
It's minimal.
Really minimal, yeah.
Okay. That's why I'm asking.
I mean,
like,
if they put $500 towards this, would that
Yeah.
be would that be out of
That'd be
line?
about, we wouldn't get, it'd take us years to get that.
I know. I know.
Township's only 18.
I know. No. I know.
You ain't got a whole lot after last one or whatever.
No, I know that. No, it's just that the century code, wants the townships to do it, and we're kind of stepping outside that. And if we could have a little bit of help from the township, that would ease. If anybody ever looks at it and says, well, why didn't the township? And we know why. Everybody knows why.
Yeah. It's our roads, you know that. Anyway, yeah.
We can. You don't have to commit to that. You can't commit to it until you talk to the rest of
We
them.
meeting and all like that.
So, if you guys are on board to tentatively move forward with allowing Chelsea and her company to Crown Appraisals to move forward with the appraisal of the Finley Farmers properties, we'll need a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion for that.
Motion by Zorn to have Crown Appraisals move forward with the Finley Farmers elevator property. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Avriel. Any further discussion?
Could I also have it put in the minutes that the township ain't liable for all of it?
What's that?
That the township ain't liable for all of the expense?
Well, that's the motion vote. We're allowing it to move forward and.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just covering bases.
Right. I don't, the contract is going to be Chelsea with the county, correct?
Yeah.
Correct, yep.
Yeah, so there will be no liability with the,
Okay.
yeah, there'll be no, yeah, no,
Yeah,
you won't have a place in it.
okay.
Any further discussion? Chelsea, you'll need the contact information. You guys will get together.
Have you dealt with them before, Todd?
Thousands of times.
Yeah, that's on.
Yeah, I can send Scott over an engagement letter and he can sign that and then, yeah, we can get the ball rolling.
Sounds good.
Very good. Any further discussion?
Just that letter should actually go to Samantha and then have
Yeah,
John
it's the
sign
same.
it.
Yeah. Scott will get it to Samantha, and it'll be on the agenda the next meeting, or whenever the meeting after it arrives.
Okay.
Who seconded that motion? I'm sorry.
Josh.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
okay, good. Anything else we need to know? Chelsea, anything else we need to know from you?
I don't think so.
Guys?
Pretty straightforward.
You guys are good? All in favor of Crown Appraisals moving forward with the appraisal of the Finley Farmers Elevator signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, everybody. Motion passed.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, guys.
All right. IT bid services bid. So it's a contractor, it's over $150,000 now. We need to put this out for bids. How do we go about that, Jamie?
I think we just advertised for bids for IT service. And if someone wants to come visit and see the needs, I think they can do that. They can visit with Sam or visit with Travis or,
Well, I can't visit with Travis. Travis is a competing contractor.
right.
Yeah.
They can visit with Sam and come look at our system and see what we've got.
So,
And I think the providers that would bid something like this would have the knowledge to know what we would need and what we're working with. So, I just think that we maybe just have a vague ad and say that we're looking for competitive bids for IT services in Griggs County. If you're interested, inquire with Samantha, the auditor, and they can go from there and have it due, I guess, before the next meeting or the meeting after that or whatever.
so is the current contract with the IT provider, is that public knowledge? The current contract lays
Yeah,
out what the
that's subject
current,
to open records.
okay, so somebody wanting to bid this can look at the current contract in order to get the
Yeah,
terms
our
for their
contracts are-
contract.
I mean, they've been in the minutes and in the
Okay.
agendas. There's a contract like that. That's subject to open records, I believe.
Okay, so we don't have to lay out what services we want, we already have what services we contracted for, correct?
Correct.
So we really can't have a vote on this until we see what the solicitation's gonna say. We'll need to have a written solicitation to put to advertise, and then we'll have to vote on that. We got,
Question? Been involved in a lot of this in the
Mhm.
past. I think this might be a place where you might wanna have a request for qualifications and a request for your proposal. I mean, you can get a lot of people that say, yeah, I can do it for this, but they might not have the qualification to do it. And just-
that'll be the interview process.
Yeah.
You can't weed people out before
Oh,
you
yeah,
give them a chance
you
to.
can set up your scope of work and your request
Yeah,
qualifications. I mean, I'm not trying to protect anybody, but
Yeah.
just as a taxpayer, I wanna make sure that whoever's taking care of the county's books and stuff
Yeah.
has the ability to do so, cause there's a lot of people out there fly by nights and wanna do things, that's all I'm saying.
So you will get us, between Samantha and Jamie, you can get us just a vague, basic ad to put in the paper?
Yeah.
Okay. Until we have that, we really can't vote on it, can't take any action. So this will be put on the agenda for next meeting then, and following meetings until we resolve it. Everybody's fine with that?
Yep.
Okay. Griggs County audits.
So coincidence, at the last meeting, you guys wanted to talk about the audits at the next meeting, and that night I got a email from Mr. Harold that said that our audit was denied, but he knows that, but he wasn't surprised by this, and he will be getting it all fixed and sent back over. And then I did get my letter saying all of that as well. So that is where your audits are at right now.
Where's that letter?
On page 15.
15, okay. So this is a little bit misleading. The audit report, this is from the state. The audit report above is submitted by Harold Rotunda. CPA has been reviewed and rejected by this office. You should not pay the fee for this report until the finding below that needs immediate attention have been fixed. He didn't reject it, they found discrepancies. The paragraph says, do not pay until the immediate attention and they have been fixed. So once that gives us clarification that once those items that they listed are fixed, that the audit will be approved.
It sounds to me it's the same thing as that building lease authority again, same problem.
It's not a, yeah,
You
so
follow
they have allowed
Yeah.
that in every other audit for the last 10 years. That isn't a problem. None of the rest of these are problems. If you read through there, it's a clarification issue. So the reason we wanted a response from the state was to know whether or not they were going to be accepting Harold Rotunda's audits. They are. As soon as you fix this, so then we can move forward with the rest of them. Does that sound correct, Jamie? But they decided to charge us $750 for sending us a letter. And that was because the legislature put that into place after the restrictions they put on the auditor here this fall. Yep. So, and we've already voted in the bills to pay this $750. If you don't want it paid, now would be the time to take it back out of there. So Harold's gonna move forward and fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will need to have verification from the state that it's been fixed, and then we
So
can.
it'll do the same process or whatever. We'll get a letter that says that yes, it's been approved,
Yeah.
or no, it's been rejected, and
Yeah,
be
and
the
then we'll
same
move, so then we'll move forward with the rest of them. So we're on the, after a long back and forth, we're on the way to get this all straightened out.
Mhm.
The way it looks. Never underestimate a bureaucracy dragging its feet, so.
Do you want to talk about that county software really fast?
I can remember the name of it, CTL?
CPT.
CPT, there we go. So,
So, just a little bit ago, I received an email from Erica Johnsrud, and she is the auditor out in McKenzie County in Watford City. And she, this is her email. I'm reaching out to all of you today to let you know McKenzie County will be staying with our current software vendor, CPT, and will not be moving to Tyler. Earlier this year, CPT announced it was ending services in North Dakota counties, but has since rescinded that decision due to inaccurate information they were given. We have started the process to terminate the contract we have signed with Tyler because we believe in the CPT software and services so much. We would encourage each of you to check out the CPT software if you are looking for alternatives that provide great customer service, wonderful North Dakota programs, and cost that is reasonable. I can put you in touch with the folks at CPT if you are interested. They did not ask me to send this email as I gathered your name from the survey Linda Sahovic sent out earlier ago regarding this topic. So I did get their contact information. I am in contact with them, and I will be having a meeting with them next week.
So I went a little further on the board, and Eric is on the Association of Counties board, so I emailed her. Their costs, it appears as for Watford, for McKenzie County, the Tyler Technology contract is gonna be approximately $66,000 a year. The CPT program is $40,000 a year, and Watford City has quite a substantial population compared to Nelson County. or compared to Griggs County. So I'm guessing that the cost is going to be significantly less than what we're going to be looking at with Tyler Tech. She said that they're great, that the service is much better than their experience with Tyler Tech, and that they're going to stay with them because it's a much better program.
Well, we can, it certainly, we certainly have to investigate it, and we'll start down that road.
I will not say that you were right.
Huh?
I will not say that you were right.
I'm not looking for that. I knew it was right when I said it.
I'm gonna say we got lucky here.
Yeah, well,
Why don't you fill in the guys over here what that did with the, what we're talking about?
so our software program
Yeah.
that used to run the county, they are, came to end of life. The guys are gonna retire. There's 2 of them in there. Great, what's the name of it?
A Dakota program.
Dakota Programs. Tyler Technologies stepped into that gap and tried to monopolize everybody in the county, everybody in the state. Their program, the initial fee to be with Tyler Technologies was $200,000. And then approximately 36,000 per year,
19.
19, and then moving
But
up
it
as
doesn't
graduate.
stop them
Yeah.
from increasing the price
And-
after you've already sunk that money in.
They had a very aggressive advertising effort to try to get everybody on board, basically saying if you don't get on board, there's not going to be room for you and you're going to be left without a software provider. That was only a month and a half ago, and of course, we decided thankfully that we're going to wait and see what happens, because when you have that big a dollar value, you know that somebody else in the software industry is going to look at it and say, I can do it cheaper. It's a free market system.
I'd like to know what information they were given before to have said that they were going to pull out of North Dakota.
Yeah, that's,
You know, if there was some kind of, you know, they say it's misinformation, but was there something like?
So I got a little bit more from Erica. I think it was it sounds like there was a director of the software company that didn't appreciate North Dakota or didn't want to be in North Dakota, and that's why they're gonna pull out.
so anyway, this is by no means a fix. This is by no means a cheaper product. We just need to we just need to look at both of them. And so Samantha's gonna,
But at least it's a option.
possible. We don't even know that till we see, yeah.
You're just gonna look at what they're gonna offer, what it's
Yeah.
gonna cost us and everything else.
Yes, and you know, it's very promising with Erica being the one to say, because I mean, Erica is wonderful within the auditors group, and for McKenzie County to be terminating a contract that they've signed with Tyler to go back to this company, that's kind of very promising, and hopefully it's cheaper and a good system.
So I actually was so just to speak a little bit about McKenzie County, I was on the county tours out of McKenzie County about 3 weeks ago, and what that administration has going on is probably endorse Fargo because of the oil stuff and the
Yeah.
problems that they've had to figure out. So if CPT has been adaptable to what they have going on out in that area, it's probably a pretty good program. And I guess I trust the opinion from them because they seem like they had their stuff together out there.
Well, so if everybody's in agreement, we can authorize Sam to give us an unbiased opinion of this and bring it to the meeting and possibly maybe one of the people from CPT come and talk to us, or you can talk to them, or.
Yep. I'm gonna get together with them at some point and.
By no means nothing for certain. All options are open. It's just another option.
Mhm.
Anything, guys?
We don't have to motion that, right? We
No.
just give her.
Just a little review,
Okay.
little information. Is
I
all.
mean, and given the fact that this is still a year and a half away, I would imagine there's going to be somebody else getting into this game too.
So one of the things that Tyler Technology did a hell of a good job of scaring people. There were
Yeah, no
22
kidding.
counties that used Dakota programs. And 2 weeks ago, when they presented in Nelson County, there were 16 counties that they had scared into signing up.
Yeah.
So that's great for them because it was a hell of a scare tactic because it's huge revenue for them. But they're the good. They claim to us that they're the good guys to come to North Dakota. Well, for $200,000, if they sign up 16 counties, that's an extra $3 million of the revenue for the company off a program they've already developed. So I wouldn't be surprised, knowing this information, if McKenzie County is able to get over the contract, that others don't follow suit.
It was certainly a hard sell on Tyler Technologies' part. They weren't, it was either this or you're in trouble, so.
They presented in Nelson County 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and they probably don't like the state's attorney, but that's fine. But they, they were the good guys, and they're gonna come in and they really put the pressure on the commission there to sign the contract and hop on board, because they put the fear that we weren't gonna have anything when the time came that we needed it.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, Sam, in your hands. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
You guys do have a new invoice. I did ask for a more itemized invoice for this. I'm not
And
sure
it
if this
didn't-
was,
It isn't itemized.
I
So-
wasn't thinking that this was as itemized as you were wanting it, but,
I went and looked at replacing the gutters aren't a problem, they're fine.
well, they were
the
thinking to
downspout.
go the other way.
Well, you drain them the other way, but the
And then
invoice.
there was a seam or something like that was dripping.
I know, but it doesn't need to be replaced, and they couldn't, after 2 tries, they couldn't give us an itemized invoice. I mean, I think we should just. If it was my building, I'd take the eave trough off there
Just let it run.
and just let it run down. It won't run onto the
Sidewalk.
sidewalk then, you know.
And there's rock up against the building, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Let's take a 5-minute recess and walk out there and look at it.
Yeah.
Somebody?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Are we
Actually-
moving the meeting
Actually, you
there?
wouldn't even need to take a recess, you can just go there.
We'll take a walk.
I'll stick around and tell anybody that's around, but they can go down.
I used to do this all the time.
Give us cover, Bob?
All right. We better get the road department out there.
Thanks.
What we gotta do is shoring.
Other way.
I wasn't sure what you're doing. Seen Bob go that way, like maybe he's leading the way, I don't know.
If you want to just go down the hallway. Might as well. I used to do this all the time when we would go from the old courthouse to the new courthouse.
Oh.
I'd just move the recorder between.
Right.
Put in a jar out there.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah, thanks, dear.
Got something to say?
Just about to the outside. See this seam right here. So what do you guys, now what's the problem at? Is it right here dripping? Is that you're talking about?
Right there and right there. But this is the seam here that's leaking.
It's leaking.
Yeah.
Well, why can't they just reseal that seam?
Yeah, I don't know.
How you tried it, Brian?
I don't know why you can't just have that seam resealed. And any other seam.
Running across the sidewalk.
I got it there. No.
What'd you say, John? Because leaving the seam, I don't know why they can't just reseal the seam. Instead of replacing it. That's what my opinion is just anything where it leaks, just have the seams sealed and that's it.
I had the same thing on my shop last year.
What's that?
We had the same thing on my shop last year where it kept dripping.
Okay.
And we tried resealing it or sealing it and never held. So I had one come in but mine's not commercial. And they can't make commercial as big.
From right here, it runs that way. And from right here, it runs that way. You can see how high it is here and then slopes. You can see it sloping down.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
So I think we just need to have whatever I think the seams just need to be redone, don't you?
That's what I think. That's personally my opinion that I've dealt with gutters and everything else. Just whatever seams are leaking, just have them fixed.
Oh, yeah, just leak.
You can see where it's leaking there. You can see where it's leaking there.
Yep. But this one,
got a drip there.
It runs this way. They just need to get up there and get these.
You see a
This
thing.
thing causes a problem too,
That's that.
running on the sidewalk.
Oh, see here it comes out, then it runs. But all they'd have to do is put a turn on this and bring it to the end of the gravel.
Yeah.
They were talking about cutting the concrete out and going that way with it, but I don't know if we need to do that. You can't, we just put it in the rock.
Just send it there.
Yeah.
I'd take it out here, and then send it there so we don't put it down on freeze it underneath the foundation.
Sure. And I don't know, is that something our maintenance guy can do? Or do we have to just have the Seamless come do it, or any other company come do that?
Well, no, a local carpenter could do this.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's what I'm wondering. If we had to hire somebody, or if our maintenance guy could do it, or what?
Let's go back and we can talk about it. But I mean, we can just get a local guy to
Give us a bid on it.
just by the hour. I think and all it's going to take is clean them up,
Yeah. Clean up, seal some
tape
seams,
them,
and like
and then yeah.
send it.
I think Wayne. Yeah, there's drip. Every one of them's dripping. Okay.
Okay. Go back inside.
Which way are we going?
That's a hard one, and it's more.
Thank you.
No, it should have been done, Wayne.
This is probably the only building in this state that's got the outlets upside down.
What's that?
This is probably the only building in this state that's got the outlets upside down.
You're right. You're right.
The only other ones that usually do that are hospitals, and that's like it.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
There's a couple different reasons. One is safety, so what they're worried if you got something plugged in, if it starts falling out, something falls, hits the two terminals. Part. The other one is, I've heard, especially on patient care areas, where they have emergency sections, if something comes unplugged, the last thing to fall out's the ground, so it's a safety issue. But there's actually no code in the code book on that. So. We got gutter, all the codes.
We should have enough tonight.
Okay.
We'll have all tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. We'll have 3,000 bushels left.
Oh, another nice big start.
Yeah. I'm glad at least get one out before it's raining here.
Yeah.
During this rain. Yeah, just too dark.
Okay, back here, we're still in session. Is it the consensus then of the commission that we don't need to replace the gutters, we just needs little repairs?
Yeah.
Should we start then with the maintenance foreman and have him either fix them or find somebody to help? I mean, it's gonna be a couple-hour job.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's gonna be in contact with Brian?
Well, usually Steph's been running that end of it, you know.
I can leave him a note.
I'll call Steph Bob. She's been taking care of that, with that book and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I mean, you've got first-hand experience. Can you talk to Brian? I mean, you know what
Yeah.
we need.
I can do that.
Thank you. Anything else on old courthouse, new courthouse?
Still, I suppose there's still not much going on with. So, just so I'm 100% clear, and everyone else, the whole deal with the, I can't think of the top of my head.
Historical Society?
Historical Society.
Mm-hmm.
That's all kind of, are we still kind of waiting on that? Is Steph dealing with that, or what's the deal? Or, because I know you said the county, the historical.
Stroke study, they said no.
Yeah, so.
They voted in that.
I can talk with Steph too and see what's going on with it.
Yeah, all we were looking for now is maybe there's some grants to go towards maintaining the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just was wondering if anybody's heard anything or what the deal is, so.
Not for the last 11 years.
No. Like Steph was gonna do some more looking if she's done anything, or you guys.
Yeah.
Said anything to you guys.
Oh, the white elephant.
Orange. Is that it? Anything else in there?
On the gutters, you think it'd be our best interest, you know, we have them drill the rivets out, you know, and then like put a caulking or in between the gutter, put them back together, re-rivet them, and other than trying to just smear over the top.
True, yeah.
I think, you know, if we get a seal between the metals and re-rivet
Yeah,
them, I
should
think
pick up.
it'll be something to last.
Yeah.
And then that gutter coming down where the bend is, you know, onto the sidewalk, that is kind of cobbled together, had a big wide gap, so if there was a heavy rain or if it was to freeze, it would push out.
Yeah.
You know, a guy should almost put a better elbow on it, maybe some heat tape in it so it
Or
doesn't freeze this
straighten it
winter,
out.
so it'll stay open through the winter.
True, that's right. That's a good
You could
idea.
shorten that piece a little bit too. You could shorten it up, shorten the downspout a little bit and bring it up, and then straighten it out too.
I just think we should maybe give them some guidance what we want
Sure,
You know.
yeah.
and just get
You
it done
want-
right the first time.
Would you be willing to?
Yeah, I'll talk to
Okay,
them.
okay. You and Travis, okay. Got somebody supervising it then, and we'll leave it in
Okay,
your hands. Thank you.
you bet.
Future business, guys.
I have the IT,
Yeah?
and that's all I have. Oh, county software will be again. And you guys will be talking about your 2024 budget again, because next meeting will be your public hearing.
At 6 o'clock?
At 6 o'clock.
Okay. So, yeah.
So we have the meeting at what, 2:30 and then the public meeting at 6 or what?
No, actually, sorry, the time is wrong on here. Your next meeting will be at 4:30.
Yeah. that's right.
So that then we meet at 4:30 and then we can just roll into your budget hearing.
Okay.
Hopefully it just kind of seamless there.
When you send out the reminder and notification on this, please make sure that's on there.
I will remind you too.
Because trust me, when I get set to one deal and then something changes, it completely throws me off.
You're good.
So I'll show up at 2:30. Where is everybody?
That's next meeting.
Mm-hmm. Next meeting will be at 4:30 and then regular, or your public hearing at 6. Yep.
Any other future business?
We'll probably add that, remember with that special thing for Wayne, you know, for the superintendent of the year? You know, we
Oh,
just-
sure.
We discussed some dates with Wayne a little bit ago, and I'll bring up more finalized on that when, the next meeting and coming up.
What do you want it on there? What do you want to label it?
Just an open house, you know, on that, for Wayne, you know, the county, something like that.
I'll do it at the,
Road superintendent's open
Yes,
house?
definitely.
Okay.
I talked to a couple people already about this on the thing, so we'll bring it up next time.
Just black tiling?
No.
Alright.
Tank tops and shorts.
There we go.
Bib overalls, I thought.
There
That'd be
you go.
better yet.
Future business, anything else?
So I know we got that vehicle up right now for the bids. That's only gonna be a 3-week deal,
You mean-
right?
you guys open that at the next meeting.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cause I know we open up, but it was only for a few weeks, and if we don't sell it, which I think a few weeks is up by the next meeting, could we talk about it and maybe extending it or something like that?
I've already gotten a bid, so
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
it hasn't been out for very long.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine if you already got something great.
Probably the same person that bought our bridge.
Last I seen it, it was sitting up behind the fire department, and it still had on all the lettering and stuff. Was Bob taking that off?
Once it's sold out.
I think it has to come off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's just back here now.
Oh, okay, I didn't know where it was at.
Yeah, but the other day I saw them driving it though.
Oh,
It could have been test driving. it.
Yeah, oh, that's what they were, I bet they were test driving who it was. It was going on the street here, and I was going on this street. It looked like Dalton driving it, actually.
Yeah, I don't think we can allow anybody to test drive. That's a liability to the county.
Yeah, we don't
so.
have insurance.
But
so
somebody was
people
driving it.
test drive
I
it.
mean,
Well,
it was-
do you think Dalton was probably driving it with them in it to show them, or can't you even do that?
I don't think that was you. I think
Usually
they
on
took
the-
it to have something done to it.
Oh, that's what they
I'm not
did.
Sure.
Okay.
yeah, because I think any kind of a bid is just as is,
Yeah.
what is, you know.
Yeah, whatever.
Any other future business? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
That would be me.
I have a motion by Tranby to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Avery. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned. 3:52. Next meeting, this room, Thursday, October 5th at 4:30, followed by the public budget meeting at 6.